and travel through Indiana Borough about the Mindsight sign. A. What is the matter of providing the daily warnings of the Homeland National Security Office as to the status of terrorism? B. What is the ability to post Amber Alerts as needed? C. What is the portrayal of time and temperature? D. What is the promotion of businesses that function in the greater Indiana community, needing all the help they can get in these economic times? E. What is posting of hundreds of public service features for various civic organizations? Or F. What is the word for the day that encourage people to research their dictionaries? There is another aspect. In trying to decipher your action as to require removal of the Mindsight sign, since none of the other four aforementioned signs do in fact conform to the section 5.150 of your Borough Code ordinance, which means somewhere, somehow, someone decided to ignore or grant an exception to that ordinance that specifically declares, and I quote, no signs illuminated by a flashing, pulsating, or intermittent source shall be permitted. Did you hear that? So then, what is the reason for this 30-some-odd month struggle for an Indiana business to be able to portray a sign that is in compliance with the same exceptions as those that have been granted to other sign displayers? Could it possibly be the fact that the Mindsight sign, unlike the others, has notably provided messages of encouragement and inspiration, sometimes quoting noted authors, like Ben Franklin, sometimes quoting from the timeless scriptures of the Old and the New Testaments? Have you decided to hide behind some other reason your objection to religious signage in Indiana Borough? Mindsight LLC has been a supporter of Christian broadcasting in Indiana, Pennsylvania on the Switch 103.7, on WMUT 105.1, and on the Sunday morning presentations of the Christian Witness Media Ministries on WDAT. We're grateful for this gracious support and this action. For this matter, but for more importantly, for the matter of equal treatment of all citizens who endeavor to do business to assist the economic climate in the greater Indiana community, I'm requesting this Council tonight to reconsider the selective enforcement attitude and to grant the same exception or extension or variance to Mindsight signs as you have demonstrated other lighted signs in this community that are lighted by, quote, flashing, pulsating, or intermittent sources. Another important issue. After you have ordered the sign to be turned off on the Mindsight signs by February 6, 2009, you then had the additional display of animosity by ordering the removal of these signs in this borough at the corner of 7th and Philadelphia Streets by March 6, 2009, under the threat of a fine to Mindsight, quote, not to exceed $500 per day. By comparison, ladies and gentlemen, what has been the treatment for the formerly lighted sign at 5th and Philadelphia Streets? Excellent. For the formerly lighted sign at 4th and Philadelphia Street? Pennzoil. For the formerly lighted sign on 4th and Chestnut Street? Sunoco. And for the formerly lighted pulsating intermittent source sign at 735 South 7th Street, Giant Eagle, that is presently inactive. We have seen no publicity regarding any borough orders for the removal of these signs, nor the threat of daily fines. Ladies and gentlemen of the Indiana Borough Council, in all fairness, if the Indiana Borough Police Department applied the rule of law and their enforcement of their duties in the same manner that you are choosing to enforce the borough ordinances, this community would revolt in disgust. And please, don't try to inject the off-premise advertising as your argument against these signs. You will find off-premise advertising on the Renda First Commonwealth sign and on the Indiana First sign, and rightfully so. As a late compromise was being worked out between your code enforcement officers and the agent from Mindsight, whereas Mindsight would maintain an office at 700 Philadelphia Street and would further restrict the messages to be highlighted on their LED signs, and Mr. Kirk was going to recommend the approval of a revised Mindsight application for a sign permit. It was then Mr. Kirk had a kidney stone attack which precluded him from addressing the March 3rd, 2009 council meeting. It was the next day that this council and or your representative, Mr. Calvert, ordered the Mindsight signs to cease all operations in downtown Indiana. I'm asking you, kindly, for your reasonable consideration in the fair and equitable application of the Borough Code, either order the removal of all the other signs that engage a flashing, pulsating, or intermittent source of lighting, which I do not recommend, or allow the establishment of the Mindsight sign as properly permitted by PennDOT and by the Indiana County Planning Office, acting as your official agent, to conform with past practices, which I do recommend. Grant the same exclusion from your sign ordinances to Mindsight that you have already demonstrated for the signs belonging to the Vendor Broadcasting and First Commonwealth Bank, to the Agway Company, to the Indiana First Bank, and to Giant Eagle. And I'm almost done. And although I would truly appreciate your consideration of the following matter, I shall not go forward with asking or requesting that you refund to Mindsight the waste and needless spending of funds that were required in order to fight for equal rights against your selective enforcement of your sign ordinance. Not only did Mindsight spend money in defense of constitutional freedoms, but you, as the Borough Council, through the legal advice of your solicitor, did expend the hard-earned taxpayer money in an act of selective enforcement which benefited no one but the solicitor, who, as a solicitor, provided the legal language of the ordinance in the first place, which is now in question as being not equally applied. Please, do not delay. I'm asking you here and now to review the facts surrounding this important community LED bulletin board operation and make your corrective decision as soon as possible to provide equal rights under the law and the Indiana Borough ordinances. I'm asking you to correct this prejudicial action taken against an Indiana business and those who represent Mindsight LLC. I thank you for your kind consideration. Thank you for listening. Oh, by the way, P.S. There's another matter in your folder, a request for signage, which I shall be here at the next council meeting to discuss with you. I'll be happy to work closely with your sign permit officials to determine the status of each of the photograph signs in your folder. Thank you, Mr. President.